Hello, Assalamualaikum, and a very good morning or evening. I don't know when they will show this recording. So, welcome to my presentation for this conference. So basically, my paper is about benchmarking analysis of occupational standards for the Malaysia's National Occupational Skills Standard, or NOS, approach towards new collar jobs era. Right. So we have a team consists of me, Prof. Wong, Prof. Madia, Dr. Koh, Dr. Zamir, Dr. Aira, Mr. Tan, Dr. Rose, and Muhammad Azran. Basically, this paper is a part of a project funded by Ministry of Human Resource Malaysia. It's about the new approach, whether do we need or to assess the development of NOS in Malaysia. So part from that project is to do the benchmarking analysis. Okay. So in 2017, NOS division, which is under the Ministry of Human Resource Malaysia, they've planned to review the NOS document to restructure the content, format, and terms of reference for the NOS development. Okay. So it aims to produce a competitive NOS in line with the Industrial Revolution and latest job patterns, including the economic development of gig and new collar job. For example, we have e-hailing now, or cybersecurity analysts. New types of technical jobs place special emphasis on skills rather than general academic degree. So for now, there's been no re-evaluation of the NOS development method. So this is what the project is all about, whether we need to have or we need to re-evaluate the NOS development method that we are currently having or not. An overall re-evaluation of the NOS development method will minimize error that occur during NOS development in terms of content, structure, writing approach, and NOS format. Okay. So what is basically NOS? It is a document that basically underlines and specifies competencies needed by a skilled worker who is gainfully employed in Malaysia. So it's for an occupational area and level and pathway to achieve the competencies. So NOS is being used as a guideline to prepare learning equipment and materials development as a training analysis and could be used as assessment material. So whether we want to know this particular worker is competent enough to do this specific job or not, NOS can be used for that assessment. It can also be used as a guide for recruitment, career development, and staff performance evaluation. Department of Skills Development, which is under the Ministry of Human Resource, has enforced the use of NOS as a basis in developing the instructional training material for skills training in Malaysia. So let's we go to the development of NOS in Malaysia. So NOS in Malaysia is developed through the method of developing a standard and curriculum and it is based on job requirements according to the career structure in a particular field of work. It starts from identifying the job title resulting from the study of the development of the occupational framework according to the specific fields and position. The occupational framework, OF, is the results of an analysis conducted to identify the scope of work of a field in terms of job competencies. Okay. So who is behind the scene of NOS? So basically, it's the Department of Skills Development under the Ministry of Human Resource. They are responsible to manage, coordinate, and promote skills training program and career development based on skill competencies for all types of skill sector in Malaysia. So, what is new collar job, and why is it important to tackle this issue? Right. New collar job era has been coined by Ginny Rometty, the CEO of IBM in late 2016. It's basically new types of technical jobs that emphasis on skills rather than general academic degrees. We can have cybersecurity that is 16 or 17 years old, that doesn't have academic degree but competent enough to do the job. So maybe there's an alternative pathway so that he or she that doesn't have to go through universities or college and focusing only on the skills that are required to do the cybersecurity job. So it's no longer depends on academic qualification, but more on the skills possessed. Okay, methodology for the benchmarking. Okay, so main objective of this paper is basically to just benchmark the practice of Malaysian occupational skills standard with other countries along with their approach on new collar job. For the purpose of this presentation, I will only outlay or present the findings from the benchmark countries. Right? For Malaysia, the detail will be in the paper if you're interested to read. Okay. Several criteria were identified and used to develop a framework for benchmarking purpose. So for comparison purpose, we select a couple of countries based on their progress in terms of economic development and labor productivity, as well as basic element of technical standard. So we have Singapore as their GDP per capita is the highest in ASEAN. And as you know, Malaysia is in ASEAN. And labor output is the highest in the world. And we also select Australia, UK, and US because their status of developed countries. Labor output is also among the highest in the world. And also because of the document, the literature document are all in English, so it made it easier. One of the limitations for this paper is we have a couple of other countries that we are interested in, but we don't have the materials in English. Okay. So this is the GDP per capita. As you can see, it's in US dollar in 2020. Malaysia is around 10,000 US dollar, but US, UK, Australia, Singapore, the countries that we have selected have much higher GDP per capita than us, and also output per worker. Malaysia is here, and it is considerably higher than upper middle income and even world standard, but lower than high income countries in average, and of course lower than US, UK, Australia, Singapore, the countries that we are doing the benchmarking. So these are the benchmarking countries. We have Singapore, Australia, United Kingdom, United States of America. Let's talk about Singapore. The similar document to NOS in Singapore is WSQ, which is Workforce Skill Qualifications. So it's a continuing education and training system. It's designed for workers in Singapore to complement the formal education system for students. There are 7 levels of qualification, start from basic certificate to postgraduate diploma, and this will describe the paths of improvement and career advancement for employees for specific jobs. So WSQ development process involves 4 main phases. We have planning, development, review, and implementation. And they outlines 2 elements that have to be adhered in the development and implementation of the framework of the WSQ, which is competency units and competency standards. In Australia, the similar document to NOS is training package, and under training package, it outlines the skills and knowledge that people need to perform effectively in the workplace, regardless of the job. It's nationally validated training standard, qualifications, and guidelines in Australia. It is developed by service skill organization or by enterprise, and it will set the outcomes needed by the workplace. So under training package compilation framework, they have standards for training package and training package product policy. Under standard for training package, it specifies the knowledge and skill an individual need to perform effectively in the workplace, expressed in competency unit CU. And under training package product policy, it outlines the rules and training package developers must follow when developing or modifying the training package product. As for UK, the similar document to NOS is National Occupational Standards. It is developed by Standard Setting Organization. It outlined the UK performance standard that people are expected to achieve in their work and the knowledge and skill they need to perform effectively. So each NOS has a publication date stating when it was approved, and then it will list the latest NOS in the UK NOS database. There will be also an expected review date, and this expected review date will be used as a guide when they need a review, and feedback from stakeholder is taken into influence when this is being implemented. So the development process for each NOS in the UK involves 8 main stages. First stage, research and analysis of sector and employment. Next, conduct functional analysis for the requirement of the NOS. Next, identify existing NOS to avoid redundancy. Then, development of the NOS, and then wait for approval of the development of this NOS. Once approved, ensure the relevance and role of this NOS. And next step, promote and support the new NOS. And finally, assess this new NOS after it is being implemented. And last country for the benchmarking is United States. United States is a little bit unique compared to other countries where we have nationally recognized NOS in UK, for example, or in Singapore, or NOSS in Malaysia. In US, there's no one specific skill standard to be used nationally. So what they have is they have skill standard usually developed by private entities such as industry groups, and then these skill standards will be validated at the state government level or at the federal government level, depend on the needs of the industry sectors involved. So for the purpose of this study, we take one out of many skill standard in US, which is skill standard development in Texas, USA, which is a state level skill standard. So skill standard in Texas involve 8 main stages: identifying jobs and reviewing source for relevant information. Next, process of assembling an industry technical advisory committee. Determining existing information. Involve process of determining project plan for the development of skill standard. Method of job analysis and strategies for validation. Then they will gather work-oriented information development process. Then employee-oriented information development process and skill assessment process. Next stage involve process of synthesizing and compiling the data. Lastly, process of recognition by the relevant authorities. These are because in each of these countries, of course, there's more approaches towards new collar jobs, right? Especially in embedding into the skill standard for each country. But here I just give some examples. For Malaysia, as our baseline, one example is Cybersecurity Malaysia, in conjunction with Ministry of Human Resource, they started to develop the NOS for digital forensic for first responders. In Australia, they included new jobs under the UNSCO list. UNSCO list is the list of industry classified by the statistics of Australia and New Zealand. And Singapore, they accredited new WSQ, workforce skill qualification in Singapore. For example, lately they have accredited cybersecurity and digital advertising, and offer this course as a national recognized course for these particular jobs. And in United Kingdom, they have studied national standards for essential digital skill, and each of these digital skills are being embedded into existing NOS. And in United States of America, the steps are a bit more proactive. They have new College Job Act in 2021, and they also have workforce framework for cybersecurity. So in conclusion, the purpose of NOS in Malaysia is to provide benefit to all related stakeholders, skills-related occupation and sectors in Malaysia. So the success of NOS development project and its usefulness to the community is dependent on the wide participation and commitment of all stakeholders. This benchmarking study has reviewed development related to new collar job in NOS or equivalent documents in the benchmarking countries. So Malaysia has developed several NOS in the context of new collar job. For example, here we have digital forensic for first responders and others. So this efforts was found to be similar or on par to other selected benchmarking countries. But as we can see here, they have included these new collar jobs in the industrial classification list, accredited new courses, and have a national standard for essential digital skill embedded into each individual NOS, and also they have act in US. So Malaysia could also consider to adopt approaches from these benchmark countries, right? And try to make the NOS in Malaysia geared towards new evolution of economy. So this the acknowledgement part. We are being funded by Department of Ministry of Human Resource under the Department of Skills Development. We are thankful for UPM Consultancy Service, of course, Universiti Putra Malaysia, and especially Center for Instructor and Advanced Skill Training, SIAS Malaysia. That's all from me. Thank you very much. If you have any question, you can email me here, mhdkhair@upm.edu.my. Thank you.